I'm gonna go right down the list. So, the esophagus is the soft tube here, right? When you were supposed to cut on your pig and pull out the whole larynx, trachea, esophagus thing. The esophagus is the back one that's soft. The trachea is the front one that's got the hard cartilage in it. Next thing on the list is the stomach. So this is the stomach, right? You were supposed to cut it along the great curvature to get inside. You have two sphincters, the lower esophageal sphincter, the pyloric sphincter. Remember, a sphincter is like a circle of muscle pinching tight. Any of these folds in here are the rugae. The body of the stomach, just the body, the fundus is the top. Small intestine is right after that, so you go through the pyloric sphincter into the small intestine. This whole thing is small intestine. You need to have an idea of the three sections. The duodenum is the first section, so right after the stomach is the duodenum. If you slice that open, you can see the villi. The villi are that fuzzy looking thing inside the small intestine. The ileum and jejunum are just, the jejunum's like just the middle part here, right? And then the ileum's the end. So to find that, you find the cecum, which is where the large intestine starts. It looks like this. You're supposed to cut that open so you can see the ileocecal valve, which is where the small intestine meets the large intestine. So you can find the end of the small intestine, ileocecal valve, beginning of the large intestine. Spiral colon, and then it descends down here and through here. This is the rectum, out the anus, which is the external portion. The liver, the gallbladder is this little sac-like organ. The pancreas is under the stomach, under the spleen, so this finger-looking thing is the spleen. Pancreas is glandular-looking material here. Mine's very dark. Others, it's a little whiter-looking sometimes. The peritoneums are the membranes, so this is the parietal. The visceral peritoneum, the easiest part was to see it was when you peeled everything off the kidneys. That gets us to the kidneys, right? So you have the kidney, the umbilical arteries and veins, the renal artery and vein. The renal vein comes, blue thing coming out of the kidney. Renal arteries, red thing coming out of the kidney. The ureter is the tubes coming out of the kidney, leading to the bottom of the bladder. This is a good shot of it. This is the bladder. The bladder was in this umbilical flap that you had dissected and reflected. The umbilical veins and arteries, these are the umbilical arteries running along the bladder. The umbilical vein was up here coming out of the liver. The urethra on a female pig comes out of the bottom of the bladder and down here and out the body, the urogenital opening. So down in here you have the rectum, this is the uterus, and then the smaller tube coming from the bladder is the urethra. Gender purposes of this pig, it's a female because it has fallopian tubes with ovaries at the end of them. And then where those fallopian tubes meet at the bottom is the uterine horn, which is then continues off to be the uterus. We'll do a male pig some other day, later. Up top here, you have the larynx. I said that already. The larynx has two pieces of cartilage, a big one and a small one. The thyroid and cricoid cartilage. All right. Then you have the epiglottis. The smaller, harder looking one of those down in here, which is the glottis. And then you have to open the epiglottis up and look down in here to see the white flaps. Those are the vocal cords. Up in the neck area here, you have two flaps of glandular material. Those are the thymus gland, and then this hard black or dark ball is the thyroid gland. Lungs, you just need to know that they are the lungs. There's the superior, middle, and inferior lobes. The accessory lobe is under the heart. To the heart, you have the heart. The apex is the bottom or the point. The base is the top. There are atria, which are the top portions. The ventricles, which are the bottom parts. Interventricular sulcus with a coronary artery and vein in them. The aorta is this really large, light white, pinkish vessel coming out of the top of the heart. If you roll all the organs over, you can follow the aorta all the way down here. Comes out of the heart up here and goes down. On the other side of the heart, up by the base, there is the inferior and superior vena cava, which is the large blue vessel coming in and out of the heart. And that's it. The rest of the stuff on the list you don't need to see.